Hello there, welcome to Ton TV, the Greenock Morton weekly update, as sponsored by McTears, the auctioneers. My special guest today has been a recent acquisition for the club and he's becoming a bit of a cult hero. He also follows in the finest tradition of Scandinavian imports to this country, and he is Markus Fjortoft. So, Markus, we're talking about Scandinavian imports. We talked about this when you arrived at the club. How much did you know about the fact that Morton had this connection?
I knew there was a Scandinavian connection, especially the imports during the 60s, which obviously, following in that kind of proud lineage, was something that I take pride in. And now there's been a break from the 60s till now, and I figured, why not? Let's regenerate that Scandinavian wave, and you know, maybe I can play a little part into that. But of course, it's Norway and the UK, Scotland, England, have a proud connection when it comes to football and share a lot of similarities in that respect in terms of the passion present. And so for me, I wasn't surprised by that connection when I found out, but it's like I said, it's trying to continue that lineage and kind of live up to that in a sense, because I think they did Morton proud in a sense too.
Because there were some big names, in Erik Sorensen, Kai Johansson, Per Bartron. These guys went on to be big cult figures in Scottish football as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, obviously my dad played in England, and you have a bunch of other, especially during the 90s, you had a lot of Norwegian exports into the UK, and so that's something I want to be a part of. And how big, I don't know, but that's something I've always desired, to come to play in the UK, and I feel at home playing here as well. So I feel that kind of connection.
We're going to get to your father a wee bit later on. I must warn you about that. But let's talk about you settling in. The manager's working this back three now with yourself and Sean and Brian. It seems to be locking together as a unit. Yeah,
I benefit a huge amount from playing with the likes of Brian and Sean, that come with a vast amount of experience, who can guide me. You know, I'm 26, but I've still a lot to learn, you know, compared to a lot of others in the team. They're younger, but benefiting from a partnership with Brian, with Sean, helps me in huge respects. And you know, as a defender, it comes so much down to positioning. It comes down to how you lead. You are inevitably a leader on the field when it comes to that. So those two have helped me vastly. And so it's been great, and hopefully that can continue. And I think you saw remnants of it against St. Mirren. It was obviously tough last weekend, but you can see that we have something there that really can provide a solid foundation for us going forward.
Certainly, they're always shouting at each other, and we're hearing the shouting coming in from the back at the moment because the boys are in for breakfast. Let's talk about the game on Wednesday night. Big Renfrewshire derby, of course. Morton came very, very close to pulling off.
Yeah, you know, obviously learning about the derby as well, you know how much it means for the fans in the surrounding area. And, you know, it lacked something without the fans there, obviously. And I think we're all looking forward to that day. But we were unlucky not to get a result. And I would have loved for us to get a result, simply because of bouncing back after Wraith Rovers, but also for the fans, especially. First half was maybe... you know, people might say that we were a bit under the caution. They had more of the initiative. But we came there with a plan, and we kept ourselves in the game 1-0, yes. And then we come in the second half, and in my opinion, we deserved to win. They got stressed out by the fact that we scored and kept pushing on, and we had some real chances to win it. And it's a tie. It is what it is. It leads to penalties, but we'll take that performance with us and gain great confidence from that.
So going through the game, I mean, you were defending robustly in the first half, and then the goal came about 6 minutes before half time. Just one of the headers that was missed out, and the big guy getting scored.
Listen, like football is decided by a set of margins here, and it's so minimal, and set pieces are scored for, I don't know, 80-90% of the time, and that's the way it is. And you know, you can keep certain players accountable for sure, but it happens, and then we move on. And obviously, we want to take pride in being a team hard to beat, and we need to do better. We acknowledge that. And that's the way it is. Maybe you lose a man, whatnot. They're good. They have a lot of initiative, a lot of people in the box. And you have to concentrate. You have to be switched on. But it is what it is, and then you have to bounce back. And I think our reaction after the break showed that. You know, you can't be defined by that. You can move on. I don't want to or the word, but it's unfortunate for the person, for the people involved, but for the team, and I think that it's important.
You had a chance just before half time, and from where we were sitting, it looked as if you were pushed out of the way as you were going for that header from Nizzy's corner.
Yeah, I mean, I felt pushed, and then some might think that I make the most out of it. But I don't know. I don't know if it can be given in Scottish football per se. Maybe I oversold it a bit, but I think I was pushed, and then you never know, because the pulling and the hands involved on set pieces. But I'll get my goal. I'll get my goal soon enough.
Well, we hope so.
Yeah.
The celebrations, obviously, for Ross's first goal were immense. You played a part in that because Strappy had been throwing the ball into great effect, and then you kind of got on. Is that something you've worked on, flicking the ball on?
Yeah, I mean, I was the smallest in the class when I was 15, 16. And then I suddenly started growing. And then you develop almost a new strength in sorts. And so, being an aerial threat is something that I've tried to hone and trying to use as a significant strength of mine. And so, that's why I feel like part of the game here is suited for me in that respect. And having someone like Strappy with the long throws and going up on set pieces, obviously we should try and utilize that. And thankfully this time around, Strappy had another great throw in, and Ross was able to come in for an immediate impact. And that goes to show that there's another set of possibilities to score off of that we can offer that perhaps other teams can.
You were the smallest in your class. I mean,
how
big a class was it?
Puberty hit me late. Let's just put it that way. No, it's not as you think. They're just these Norwegian beasts, but it's just simply I just hit my growth spurt late. But I think that benefited me because you can't overly rely on your physicality growing up, and then you grow up and then you develop a new set of strengths. And I was able to do that. I changed my position from midfield to defense, and I think that that helps you in certain respects, because then you're able to transfer certain abilities, so to speak, into your position as defender. Maybe set yourself apart a bit.
Talking about the strip on Wednesday night, it's become what we like to think is a modern Morton classic, designed by the manager and the chief executive as well. Now we've got a situation with McTears, the auctioneers, where we're auctioning off, sponsoring players actually throughout the season, and there's a chance to go on and bid up to 8 o'clock this Monday night, the 16th. How important is it for a club like Morton to have sponsorship of their players?
I think it's vital, especially, especially during these times in which it's proving tough for personal business, hospitality business, for businesses in general. But Morton is a community club, and I've felt that coming into the club, being welcomed by this core group of people that surround yourself included, and the staff, and people with Jane and making the food, and Tony.
Sure.
That's important because it hones a community and family feel, and something now that I've been able to feel. And I think we all need each other during these times. We need the fans, and the fans perhaps need the team. And so to be able to have that kind of dynamic and family, I don't want to call it a transaction, but this relationship, I think is incredibly important, because I think everyone's realized that you need your closest ones during these times. And thankfully, Morton stands close to a lot of people in the community. And so I think that's important to hone.
You're quite exotic around these parts because you played America, you played New Zealand. I'm going to ask you, did you have any heroes when you were growing up? I mean, I'm obviously thinking of John Arne Rees.
Right. I mean, a lot of Norwegian players made us Norwegians proud abroad. You had the Solskjaer and the Rees in England. Growing up, obviously I had my father, like growing up, seeing, and the older you get, the more you tend to appreciate what he's accomplished. You had that, the more familiar connection. But my big hero growing up was David Beckham, who I copied his hairstyles for 5-6 years and thought I would be a great right wing or a central midfielder and cross over the ball. Things changed, as you can see. Clearly. But yeah, for me that was my big hero.
Has your father ever forgiven you for joining the club, or Hoppy scored that goal?
I don't think he has yet. I don't think he has. But listen, the gaffer is great. I love being part of the team, and he's just been great to me ever since coming in. So with that, hopefully my dad can tend to let that go.
He's worked quite a bit with you, the gaffer, hasn't he? I've watched him out on the training pitch.
Yeah, I mean, he has I've said earlier, he has a great track record for developing teams, but also players. And my big motivation in my career is to develop and fulfill my potential, as much as that is. I don't know, that's maybe just this kind of this intangible in terms of what that actually is, but I still feel like I've a lot to develop it. And with that, with his track record and him as a coach, that I can sense him being a good coach who can guide me well, it's a great motivation for me to work with someone like that. And I think already I'm feeling like I'm looking at the game differently.
There has to be a lot of arithmetic at the weekend to get something out of the Partick Thistle game. But I mean, it's more important for you in terms of the fact that your roomie would have been, under normal circumstances, would have been playing for Thistle.
Yeah, he would. I was excited when he signed first for Partick, and then when I signed for Morton, we realised we're in the same Bedford. Bedford group. Kieran McKenna, yes.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, he's injured. But I would have loved to play against him, because obviously our careers have been intertwined for the last 5-6 years. Lived in America together, gone to college there, played at Hamilton together, and it would have been great to kind of go full circle now, play against each other. Fortunately, it's not so. But we go into that game knowing that if we win, we give ourselves an opportunity to go through, and that's all that matters, So.
And you're enjoying your development at the club?
Yes, I'm loving Morton. I love the team as well. I think it's a very intimate and good group of people that I genuinely enjoy being a part of. So I can't wait for the time forward.
Markus, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you very much, sir.
And thank you for joining us as well. Remember, if you want to watch the Partick Thistle Morton game tomorrow, just go to the Partick Thistle website and you can buy the live stream. Also, if you'd like to sponsor a player, you have until 8 o'clock on Monday night. It's www.mctears.co.uk. And thank you for joining us on the Greenock Morton Weekly Update, as sponsored by McTears, the auctioneers.